$250 computer, can it even be done in 2024? Well, let's see. And to make it a little bit more fun, Budgetiers, Casual Tech Review, I challenge you to a $250 PC build battle. Let's go. Now, this competition, as any good one, is gonna have a couple of rules. First off, no pre-built systems, no OptiPlexes, none of that. You have to build the PC yourself. Now you are, however, fine to use combo deals, so if you find a good motherboard and CPU together, or a motherboard and some RAM, or anything like that, you're welcome to use those kinds of deals. Rule 2, document everything, and I mean everything. We need screenshots from Facebook Marketplace or Venmo, or receipts. 3, we will not be counting the cost of windows, shipping, tax, or any of that. Just what you see on the website or on Facebook Marketplace or wherever you're buying it from. And 4, we will be judging the results of this competition by 2 metrics. First, by a fan vote. Yeah, those are pretty empty. So instead of doing a fan vote with them, we are going to be doing a community tab poll. So check it out in my link in the description and vote on who wins. The second metric that we'll judge it by is performance. We will be testing in 2 games, Apex Legends and Fortnite, just because they're free and played by a ton of people. 5th, last, and most importantly, you have a budget of $250, not a penny more. However, spend less if you want. It's really not up to me. Cool, glad we got those out of the way. That ref was kind of annoying, huh? Anyway, let's get on with our parts shopping. So right off the bat, I started looking for parts on Facebook Marketplace, and fortunately, I found some pretty great deals. Unfortunately, they were a little bit far away, so you know what that means. Road trip montage! And after a long journey, we made it to the McLove's travel stop. We're here to grab some parts. Now, you're probably wondering what exactly we picked up here. Well, it was an Intel Arc A380 and we paid $50 for it. It should have about the same performance as a GTX 1650 or 1660. It's got 6 gigs of VRAM, and I really hope it holds up well for this challenge. Now with our GPU in hand, it's time to grab some snacks and drive home. So I got an American-sized Dr. Pepper. For my European viewers, yes, this is a normal size of a drink to drink. And some sunflower seeds, just to make the ride home a little bit more bearable. We got the truck and some snacks, we got the gas, and we got our parts. So now it's time to head back home. Well, good drive. And after some drinks and some snacks and some pretty good music, I made it back home safely. And now that I was back safely, it was time to go back onto Facebook Marketplace and look for some more parts. And I was pretty lucky because right away, I found this Ryzen 5 2600X for $20. This is a really freaking good deal, and it came with a stock cooler, which makes our lives a lot easier. It's 15 to 20 more bucks we don't need to spend. So we'll add that to the build cost right there. And while I was there picking up some parts, I talked to his roommates who also flips PCs and found out that he has some RAM and an SSD for sale. His SSD was M.2, which means it was quick and it was gonna work great for our build. Unfortunately, it was only 256 gigabytes. Oh well, it's better than a SATA SSD and it's better than a hard drive, so it'll work great for this build. He also had 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. I paid $30 for the combo, and here's the Venmo screenshot to prove it. That brings our current total to $100, and we already have a GPU, CPU cooler, RAM, and an SSD. With those out of the way, this challenge is looking more and more doable. As far as the motherboard goes, I found this B450 on Amazon for $59.99. And while it's not super feature rich, it's going to support our 2nd gen Ryzen processor, which, fun fact, B550s don't support anything older than Ryzen 3000 series, which is a lesson that I learned the hard way with a different build. So after that, our build cost right now is at $159.99. Guys, we're doing great. All we need right now is our case and our power supply. That gives us about $40 to spend on each item, so I think this is actually really freaking doable. In search of a good option for either of them, I went onto Facebook Marketplace yet again, and unfortunately couldn't find anything. So that meant it was time to go to our local computer stores and look around. I went to every PC and PC parts store in my town. Unfortunately, we don't have any big chain ones here, and none of them had any cases or power supplies. None of them except for the Rex Tech, which a huge shout out because they made this challenge a whole lot easier. Now, as for the power supply, I do have something to admit. It's a Smart 500 one. I'm sorry. I know it's hated. I know everybody thinks it's terrible, but it's gonna be enough to supply our A380 and our Ryzen 5 2600, so just leave it be. It's a functioning power supply. 15 bucks for a power supply that's gonna supply power to our computer parts makes life a lot easier. So a huge shout out to the Rex Tech, and thank you guys so much for making this a lot easier on me. Because of the savings they let me have, I was able to get a sick case. This case was the Sama Nevu 4361. Sama's so good at naming their products, guys, it's unbelievable. This is the same case that was in the computer from my last video where I taught you guys how to find the best deal on PC parts. So consider this a follow-up video, and once you're done watching this, follow this video up with that one. Anyways, we picked this one up for $68.99 because it wasn't an open box deal, unlike the other one. However, that still puts us right within our budget. We spent $243.98. So that's an extra $6 I can spend on food. Now, granted, given how much we spent on our case, I think we could put together a much better system for under $250. However, I do have to admit that initially I thought this challenge was for $200 and not $250. And by the time I realized that, I had already bought all of the performance-oriented components. I didn't want to spend more money on other stuff because I felt like that wouldn't fit the spirit of the build. Also, I was broke, so, you know, but shh, don't tell anybody. And on top of that, because we got a nice case, the PC is going to look a lot better, which means it's going to be easier for me to flip down the road. Why hello there, this is Ryan from the future coming to you from the past, because I had to record this before you see it. Time travel's stupid. Anyway, as this channel focuses pretty heavily on PC flipping, and this $250 build got kind of forced to become a flip because of my incompetence and not realizing that it was a $250 challenge instead of a $200 challenge, I thought it might be a good idea to look at how this PC actually sold and what I could do better next time for my next $250 flip. Assuming you've seen some of my previous videos or you flip PCs yourself and you know a little bit about what makes a good listing and what makes a PC sell well, you might have a couple of guesses as to why this PC sold like garbage. Now, I had this PC listed for about a week and a half before it actually sold. And even with some great pictures, some pretty respectable specs, and the best upgrade path you can get with a PC this cheap, this PC did not garner nearly as much attention as I thought it would. I mean, as far as looks go, this PC was one set of cable extensions away from being worthy of being in somebody's stream background. So I definitely don't think looks were the problem. Were they the specs? Well, actually, probably. I initially listed this PC for about $400, and after 3 or 4 days, I wasn't getting any interest in it whatsoever. So I dropped the price down to $350. About a week later, somebody messaged me, and this was the only message I'd gotten so far, offering $300 cash, and I accepted it. And through accepting that, I did not in fact make the 30% profit that I always try and make on my builds. I ended up making $58.02, a 23% profit, which is nowhere near what I like to try and aim for. Of course, I'm not gonna complain about 50, 60 bucks of profit, but it's still kind of disappointing to see. Now, where did I go wrong with this flip? What made it sell for way less than I think it should have? Well, I think the biggest thing is the main talking point of this PC, that Intel Arc A380. See, with how my PC was priced, I should have realized that the people that I was trying to sell to want brands that they recognize and can trust as reliable. And while yes, Intel is that, that's only the reputation they've built for their CPUs. Their GPUs are way too new to have built that reputation for themselves yet. And I mean, as a tech enthusiast, I love the things that Intel is doing with their GPUs, because what they're doing is they're introducing this extra level of competition to the GPU market that you don't get from anybody else right now. They bring the value that you're getting for what you're paying up because they're introducing even more competition than was already there. That being said, my target buyer isn't necessarily a tech enthusiast. They don't know everything that's going on in the world of tech, and that's okay, but it just means that cards like this Intel A380 should not have been what I chose for this flip. I would probably have been a lot better off going for something like a 1650 or a 1660 if I can find one in my price range. That probably would have helped the PC perform just a little bit better, and on top of that, it probably would have helped the PC sold for more. I mean, because just being honest, I've had builds with RX 580s and 1650s or 1660s sell for the $500 to $600 range with similar CPUs. If I were to redo this challenge and focus on making this PC a really good flip instead of adhering to a strict $250 budget, I think I would have gone for something like that 1660 that I mentioned a second ago, because I found those for between 80 and 100 bucks before, and putting another 50 bucks of value into this build would have helped me sell it for 500 to 600 bucks all day. I think I, as a seller, could have massively benefited from it, and I think my buyer could have had a significantly better PC for 40 to 50 bucks more on my end. On top of that, I would have also thrown some cable extensions at this, because we know how much I love cable extensions. They make every build look 100 times better and would probably have helped this PC sell quicker and for more money. Anyways, before I send you back to past Ryan, I hope you guys learned something from that. On top of that, I've got a Discord server that is literally begging you to come join it. And as a time traveler, I guarantee that you're gonna love it. There's so many memories that you're gonna make and so many people that you're gonna run into and make good friends with. I can confidently say that you will enjoy yourself there. Anyways, I've got to head back to the past. The 80s are calling, and I'll see you guys soon. Anyways, after it was all said and done, this is what we ended up with. It's a solid PC, and I think it looks really, really good for $250. In fact, I think it looks so good, we should just take 1 second to admire it. That's enough admiring, time to test and see if it performs. So in Fortnite at 1080p high, we hit an average of 30 FPS. Oh, that's not very good. We hit a max of 45 FPS and a minimum of 3. Okay, that's not very good at all. Although it is at Epic, so give it some slack. For $250, do you really expect to be able to play high settings? Probably not. So instead, let's see what it looks like if we turn the settings to the lowest possible settings that Fortnite offers, still at 1080p. We hit an average of 140 FPS, which is very playable. We hit a max of 210 and a minimum of 16 FPS. Yeah, it's pretty stuttery, but Fortnite's like that, so that's all right, I guess. Now, Apex Legends performed a lot better than I thought it would, given how Fortnite performed. It hit an average of 73 FPS, peaking out at 113 and bottoming out at 57 FPS, which means this was very smooth and was not very stuttery at all. In fact, it was a joy to play. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed watching this video, then you should watch this one from Budgetiers or this one from Casual Tech Review, which are the 2 other people who are doing this challenge with me. If you've already watched both of those and then voted in the community poll down below, link in description, then please check out my most recent video on how to make the perfect Facebook Marketplace listing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Ryan, and I'll catch you next time. Ryan, out.